Shabbat Shalom. There is a poem. One night I dreamed a dream as I was walking along the beach with my God. Across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life, and for each scene I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one to my God. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life, especially at the very lowest and saddest times, there was only one set of footprints. This really troubled me, so I asked God about it. He said once, I decided to follow you, to walk with me all the way, but I noticed that during the saddest and most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why. When I needed you the most, you would leave me. He or she whispered, my child, I love you and will never leave you, never during your trials and testings. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. There's a scene in our parasha this week. At the end of all of the great drama, after Joseph has revealed himself and his brothers head back to Canaan to get their father, to tell him Joseph is alive, and all of them, the whole tribe, sets back down to Egypt. And Israel, Jacob, sets out. And he has this vision at night on the journey. God calls out to him, Jacob, Jacob, and he answers, Hineni, here. And God says, I am God, the God of your father. Fear not to go down to Egypt, for I will make you there into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I myself will also bring you back, and Joseph's hand shall close your eyes. It must have been a powerful moment for Jacob, who must have feared taking down the whole tribe down to Egypt. Hadn't God appeared to his grandfather Abraham and said, go to Canaan, and there I shall be with you. God tells him it's going to be okay. I am here. But when you hear this, and you read this, you think, really? I am here. I'm going down to Egypt with you during those 400 years of slavery, 10 generations. It's a different kind of God being with us than we usually think of. We do think that when God is with us, that everything is going to be lovely and easy and affirming. And it's not like there is no plan. God tells him the Jewish people are to become a great nation. But when God tells, the Eternal One tells Jacob that he will be with him and his descendants, he is saying something different. You are not alone in your struggles, in your suffering. The divine is ever at your side. That the Jewish people were not alone in Egypt amidst all of it, and we are not alone. There is a greater force as part of whatever is happening to try and do our best, even as it is not always easy to have faith in that. And this is what Joseph embodies truly in the Torah, is the faith that is so, which is so challenging for us. Right? Joseph rising and falling, and all those moments when a normal person, any one of us, would have just said, well, this is the end, let's pack up and go home. But Joseph kept going, from the pit where they sold him into slavery, to rising in the house of Potiphar, to the dungeon where he ended up after being framed by Potiphar's wife, to becoming chief among the prisoners and interpreting the dreams of two of the important ministers, to then interpreting Pharaoh's dreams and suddenly second in command over all of Egypt. Extreme falls, extreme rises, but the promised happy ending at the end of all of it as we read this week. Truly the realization and fulfillment of hopes and dreams of his, in fact, literal dreams. He dreamt as a child that his brothers and father would bow down to him. And he's able to save, by all of it, to save his whole family, the whole region, the whole ancient world perhaps that was beset by famine, and himself to rise to a position of glory, of prominence, of recognition. Really, this story is at the core of our Jewish neshama. This is a big part of our Jewish being, and maybe why it's both so powerful and difficult. Maybe this is what made the Jewish people survive. After we endured so much, But Jews somehow held on to the belief that God was with them. Even after exile, after other religions had risen to extreme prominence, and Judaism seemed to be relegated to nothing, irrelevant, despised, lost in history, Jews still believed that there was some kind of purpose within it. And if they kept on going, it would eventually work out. They would rise, they would fall, they would rise, they would fall. But one day, their dream would be realized of return to their land and of finding joy and well-being and security again. And also the fulfillment of that even greater dream, that one day peace and harmony would reign for all. That all of humanity would reunite, the warring brothers and sisters, everyone would forgive each other, and all would be well. All would be well. And like Joseph, this is a similarity between Jewish people and Joseph. Joseph, he believed he was the beloved son, right? Joseph believed he was the beloved son. He thought he was the segula. He thought he was a treasure. Yeled Shashuim, as the prophet Jeremiah says, and we sing on high holidays, the child that is dandled. And we survived because we thought that we were the beloved son, the beloved child, despite it all. And we never let go of that truth. And even when it wasn't expressed in the most kind ways, maybe over time we've also matured in what it means to be a beloved son. Just like Joseph had to mature in what it means to be a beloved son, from the early days when he angered everybody and how he spoke about it, to embracing everyone else at the end. And as I've been saying a lot, apparently recently, there are times when it gets too much and we say as Tevye, wouldn't it be nice if you chose someone else for a change, if this is what it means to be God's beloved child? But what does it mean to be God's beloved child? To be witnesses to all of it. It means to allow the universe to lead us wherever we need to go to be those witnesses to history and to goodness and to evil, and wherever we can to bring repair and healing and lift up wherever we are led to. Just like our father Abraham, who was told, Lech lecha, leave everything you know and go to the land that I will show you. And all of our other ancestors down the ages. And all of us as a people, as individuals, wherever we are led to try and bring joy and goodness, because most of the time there's not much else that we can do. But to hold on to that promise, it will be okay because I am with you. And this is still how we are called to live our lives as Jews, to keep giving our all through the ups and downs and sometimes all around, but holding on to that idea that the footsteps are with us, believing we are being held in the embrace, striving to ever move forward with faith and love, believing that the dream will one day come true, believing the vision and mission will finally be fulfilled. Shabbat Shalom.